Hello and welcome back to my channel. So I want to forewarn you that typically for chatty type videos like this I have notes, like I've thought the video through, I've written things down, points I want to hit. I don't have that this time. This video is more of like a stream of consciousness because I don't know how I feel about it, and I'm hoping that if I just sit here and blab about it, then either I will come to a conclusion or you can hear me blab and help me figure it out in the comments below, because I really don't know how I feel. And what I'm talking about here, I've alluded to before on my channel, but I'm talking about dupes. So when I think about the sort of the makeup category of dupes, there are like three subcategories. There's fake, there's like single dupes, and then there's full dupes. Please understand that I have made up all three of those titles just now, and I'm going to explain them and why they came into my head immediately. So to me, like a fake makeup product is one that was clearly made to look exactly like another product. Logo, branding, everything, but it was not manufactured by the same company. So, like, let's say you go to, like, a little market, or even on eBay, you can find these, and you find, like, a Kylie Cosmetics palette, or the Morphe James Charles palette, but it's $10, $5. There is no possible way that someone would either A, be selling theirs, or that Morphe would sell theirs at this low price. So clearly this is a fake product made by a different factory in China, probably. Never, under any circumstances, buy fake makeup. I know it seems so easy. You're like, well, I'm getting like the same thing as everyone else, but just cheaper. But the thing is, it's not safe. So when it comes to fake makeup, like these things, the reason they're not sold in like regular retailers is because they're not like approved. The ingredients aren't approved. You have no idea what's in there. You know, they could have put whatever in this shadow to make it red. You have no idea. I truly believe that, you know, obviously makeup these days especially is expensive, and probably too expensive, but some of the price in there is to make sure that products are safe for whatever you're using them for. That's why some things are specifically not for eyes or not for lips or whatever, because these things have been tested and are tried and true, safe for those areas. When you're buying a fake product, they haven't been tested and you don't know if they're safe. So to me, that's like a fake product. So we're just getting rid of that category because I don't ever want you to do that. I have purchased one fake item in my life and I still have it. It is a fake Daisy by Marc Jacobs perfume, and I bought it not because I wanted to wear Daisy by Marc Jacobs, but because I thought the bottle of Daisy by Marc Jacobs was cute, and I can't afford it. So it's actually still on my shelf behind the background, never used, but just because I thought the bottle was pretty. So I mean, if you want to do that, I can't really see a harm in that, but don't use it. So now singular dupes is, I think, one of the like most popular and one of my favorite things, especially to look for here on YouTube and that sort of thing. It's when you're looking for like a duplicate of like a singular shade. And it's pretty easy to do usually because there are only so many colors, there are only so many makeup companies, you know, they're gonna oftentimes overlap. An example of this to me is when I think about this winter's Too Faced release of the gingerbread palette. I really wanted this palette. I didn't buy it, but I really wanted this palette. Now when I break it down though, all I think I really wanted from this palette was the hot pink shade. I mean, when you look at the rest of it, I pretty much have it, and I pretty much have the rest of it in other Too Faced palettes. So then all I had to do was go through my collection, and I realized I had the Ooh La La palette by ColourPop. I probably have a pink close enough to the pink in the gingerbread palette that there was no sense in me purchasing the gingerbread palette, because I probably had a pink close enough to that one to warrant not buying it. You know what I mean? The shade, I think it's called Naked 2 in one of the Naked Basics palettes. It used to be my favorite shade to contour with, to put as a transition shade in my eyes. I loved it. I hit pan on it forever ago, and I spent forever trying to dupe just that one shade, because it doesn't make sense to buy a whole new palette for just one shade. And I remember I found a Sephora collection single. I still have it somewhere. If I can find the name of it, I'll put it on the screen. But a Sephora collection single shade that was the closest color duplicate I could find. It was a little bit warmer, but so close. So I still have that single eyeshadow, and I do still use it to contour sometimes. So when it comes to duping individual things out like that, or even duping things out when it comes to like a high-end moisturizer versus a drugstore moisturizer that's a little bit similar, to me that's okay. Like I enjoy that. That's almost like a fun sort of scavenger hunty event when it comes to makeup, like a fun thing to do. Now, the part that I don't know about, the part where my lines kind of get blurred, is when it's like a full dupe. When typically a higher end company has come out with, let's use palettes, because that's just the easiest way to do it. They've come out with a palette, and it's really popular, and then a less expensive brand sees how popular that palette is and completely copies it. There are a lot of examples I can think of. W7 and Makeup Revolution are probably two of the more inexpensive brands that do this the most. I know W7 has duped quite a few of the Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes. I know they have a dupe for Subculture. I have the Romance palette, which is pretty much a dupe for the Soft Glam palette. And I know Makeup Revolution has duped some Kat Von D stuff, and they've duped Too Faced palettes. I mean, heck, they even have their own line of palettes that look like chocolate bars. Now, my issue with this is, yes, it's harder for me to afford the higher quality stuff, but like, that's the original idea. You know, when the less expensive brand takes from a high-end brand like that, and I guess it could be, you could apply this to clothes or, you know, home decor or fashion or whatever, but I know makeup the best. That's why it's easier for me to look at it like this. You know, it feels like someone cheating on your test paper a little bit. It's like, well, I did well and you cheated off me. That means you did well too. And, you know, it doesn't feel fair. It doesn't feel right. And, you know, if we look at Anastasia Beverly Hills specifically as a brand, Norvina, which is Anastasia's daughter, you know, she designs these palettes. She takes time to figure out the shades, the formulas, the finish, the arrangement, the packaging. Like, she takes time to figure these out and she designs them, you know. I can only imagine how I would feel if I did that and then someone else completely ripped it off. And at the end of the day, there has to be some reason for the price difference. I'm not saying, you know, there has to be a reason for the dramatic price difference, but there has to be some sort of quality difference. So for a brand to rip off a higher-end brand's palette for so much less expensive, the quality has to be not as good. And I like my W7 palette, don't get me wrong, but it's not as nice as my Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes, that's for sure. The sort of nerd in me is like, well, it's not fair, and I should buy the original one. But then, one of you commented actually on another video where I talked about this, and made a really valid point. What do I care? These are multi-million-dollar companies. It's different if like an indie brand is involved, then it's like a brand starting up trying to, like, then I think it's a little bit more of an ethical issue, you know, and you really got to think, I want to support the little guy, you know, rather than automatically going to the conglomerate. But here they're both multi-million-dollar brands. Neither one of them are hurting, and the makeup industry is booming these days. At the end of the day, should I just look out for myself and my own wallet? Because this W7 palette was $10 and an ABH palette is like $50, so I mean, I like to think about where my money is going, but at the end of the day, I mean, they both already have so much money to begin with. Does my money really matter? My money probably matters more to me than it does to either of those companies. So I don't know. What do you think? What is your morality? What is your moral ground when it comes to this whole life of dupes? And I'm talking like full palette dupes, pretty much. Like I said, individual dupes is okay. I'm convoluting this and starting to not make sense. But like, what is your stance? Help me figure this out. Help me figure out where my morals sit with this one, because I can't figure it out. And anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed already. Again, please don't forget to leave your thoughts and your ideas and your comments in the comments down below so that I can figure this out, so you can help me out. Thank you so much again, and I will see you next time. Bye!